Alan, I'm gonna go on to you for our next topic.
Okay, so I turned 30 this year. I'm getting older, and sometimes I think about my parents getting older, and also what it's going to be like for us when we're not just their age, but like retirement. Kind of what, like, now maybe you guys have grandparents that are like put in the old folks homes or like retirement homes or whatever. What that experience will kind of be like for us when we're that age, because I feel like technology will jump forward so much that we might be living different experiences through like virtual reality perhaps, or something like that, like where it's not just kind of you're just sitting there getting old and basically like dying.
That's actually a really great
like seeing
idea.
all your friends die around you and you're getting like sad about this, and Steve is jumping around everywhere. It's scary.
You're just like you had something to say.
That's a great idea though, about the whole bringing virtual reality to like the individuals that can't move anymore, that can't experience life, that can't leave their house. That'd be interesting to even see today. If we were to start.
There's something like that for old people. It's called Be My Eyes, and actually or blind people. And what they do is they use their iPhone, and people volunteer and be their eyes and say, "Hey, you're doing great. Okay, watch out. Go to the left. Here, this is way. Okay, here's the bus. Wait for it." But the way there was an interesting story because someone from Taiwan or India, I can't remember around there.
So you have an individual on the other line, like the other side of the line, just coordinating them where to go, looking through their iPhone.
Yeah.
Their eyes kind of like, and they're out at the store shopping.
Yeah. It's just Be My Eyes. You volunteer, and they're like, obviously they could talk to be like, okay, I need to go and take the 45, and I'm on Blade Street, blah, blah, and someone's like, okay, here, yeah, just go here, blah, blah, blah. It's like Steve's eye. And actually someone volunteering got into a car crash because she was like...
Really?
Yeah, not paying attention.
So
or the other...
The one volunteering, she was too busy looking at the blind person's... Yeah, while she was driving. Is a terrible idea.
Why do I instantly go to bad things? Like, yeah, that's the milk, and I get them like a gallon of orange juice.
That'd be fucked up. That'd be so... Like, I don't know, maybe like a dumb teenager would do that. Like, screw it.
And Ian, apparently.
And
Ian. Like a 30-year-old man.
I'm saying, like, that's what, like, I wouldn't trust someone to do that for me. Like, I'm not saying I would. I'm just, that's what my mind goes to.
That would require a lot of
sit there.
trust, honestly.
Yeah. I don't trust people that much, I guess. I would never do that.
Are you guys
never do that, guys. You fucking...
Are you guys talking about that app?
The Be My Eyes app?
No, there's another app where you can actually, like, people that can't get out and grab groceries and stuff like that, they send this stuff to people that can go to the store for them and pick up their food, and they go there and they scan the label and they buy their food for them and they bring it and they get paid for it too.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh.
And that's for elderly people?
It's for anybody. If you're just fucking lazy, you're playing
fucking
like
lazy ass.
I'm in my promos. I'm in my promos. I can't go.
Yeah. I need milk.
Well, I'll tell you guys what, man. Because like my job that I have is dealing with people that are 65 plus. It's like this is something I actually genuinely think about. It's like getting older and where I might be later on in life and stuff. And had I not had this job, I probably wouldn't be thinking that. I'd be doing whatever, just like what I feel like most younger individuals are doing, not thinking about that future. I'd say right now I feel like these guys have some shitty living. Like they really, a lot of them never get out of the houses, man. Never. Like their life is experienced in their living room. It stinks in their houses because it's like, because they really don't get out and they don't do anything, Yeah. The most that they get out is maybe out to the front porch and then back inside. And it's sad. Like I don't like looking at like what our life would be like, what our future, I hope it's not like that. Like what I see a lot of the reasons why people are staying in their house right now is because they're unhealthy individuals,
Right.
Not so much that they would like to stay in the house. It's just they didn't eat right when they were young. They didn't take care of their body when they were young. They did a lot of other different things that just now they're at the point where it's just like just downhill. I can't even get out of my chair even if I wanted to because my back's so broke now.
Right.
And the same thing I'd be experiencing if I get to their point and I don't do anything proactive to try to help my back out, right? I'll be that guy in that wheelchair at 65 years old being like, oh, I'm not going to get out of the house because my back hurts so bad.
I got something too, guys. You guys would be proud of me.
What's that?
I finally hurt myself.
Oh yeah?
You're
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, actually, between my shoulder blade, I hadn't been able to sleep the last 3 days. I went to the emergency room.
So proud of you.
Holy
Did you
shit.
really?
Yeah, I went to the
What'd you
emergency
do?
room because I had like a total of 6 hours of sleep. The doctor just said that I pinched a nerve really bad in my back.
Oh yeah.
So you went to the emergency room for that?
Yeah,
Pussy.
that's because I couldn't sleep. I couldn't do it anymore. And like I was getting the sharp pain that was shooting from right there here on my left arm to my pinky. My whole arm was going numb. So I'm like, what's
Oh,
going
this is a
on?
heart attack. Yeah, freak
Yeah,
out.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of heart attack.
I do.
I just had my blood work done. And my cholesterol, everything's
It's
good.
like I'm amazing.
Alan, what scares
But-
me?
Yeah, they said I needed a steroid pack or something like that, like a dose
Stim pack.
Stim
They said
pack.
that it won't be able to heal on its own.
Yeah, the thing that scares me is like I do worry about heart attacks with pain. Like I get chest pain sometimes. Sometimes like
I
it
do
goes in
too.
my arm, and I'm like,
Yeah.
China, baby.
right? You guys do too. Okay,
No,
so
yeah.
that's a normal thing. All right, because like my
I
dad.
hope it's a normal thing.
Yeah. My family has
Either
like,
that or we all have a history of heart disease. And like,
We're all fucked.
well, I know my dad and then his dad. So like, yeah, there's definitely like, oh God, is this happening now?
exactly, yeah. Both my grandfathers died from heart attacks. So
Same.
I'm like always worried about that. And then like I also take this like ADD medication that's basically amphetamines, which puts more stress on my heart. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm just like, you get really bad anxiety if any like sort of weird pain starts happening in my like arms or like in my chest and stuff. I'm like, oh shit, like this is it. Like,
and that's a snowball effect because like anxiety is
exactly.
just brewing more anxiety.
exactly, yeah. Panic attack. That was the first time I ever had a panic attack. Was from that basically.
They're horrible.
So,
I hate panic attacks.
I'm sorry to hear that, dude.
Steve is like, I have panic attacks all the time. I hate panic
No,
attacks.
I have them all the time.
like
anymore.
yeah, they're
When I
so
was younger, I
boring.
did, yeah.
It's Steve usually gets them. You know, we're bot, and he keeps taking my kills, and he's just like, I'm sorry.
Where's my brown paper bag? Hey, for the future though of us, like I hope that there's like medicine goes through like. So right now, I feel like the pharmaceutical industries are just kind of taking over, and they're just masking a lot of different things instead of helping cure things, which is where I hope that medicine comes in, where it's like the medical side says, you know what, we're going to take over and we're going to try to stray away from the pharmaceutical company, which I think is probably not going to happen since it's $1 trillion business and market, but that they can start to create and develop like technology, like you were saying, to the like a future technology that can make it so that we don't have these kind of problems. Like,
What about like bionic suits, like in Edge of Tomorrow, that we can like walk around because our
Exoskeleton.
backs are screwed? You know?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like, what is it? America has like the worst case of back pains than anybody else, you know, in the world. It's like then that
Because we don't
leads to us.
squat.
That leads,
Literally,
yeah, when we
like
go to the
we sit
bathroom.
in chairs, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
everywhere, every other place they like squat. They can like squat down, you know, like to the ground with like their feet flat. It's like called the
Yeah.
third world squat, you know.
Squatty
Yeah.
potty.
So like we don't have that range of motion, and it creates a lot of like stress on the lower back because it pulls like all your muscles are really tight, so it's like pulling like your lower back spine part the wrong way.
I'll
and
agree with you
That's
because
crazy.
after, it was 6 weeks of this that I was missing out on Maelstrom Gamers, which I was upset about. But I was in the
Sorry.
car
We
nonstop.
were.
I was in the car
Not at
nonstop. Like that was the job. That's your office, right? Just sitting
Yeah, yeah.
in the car. I cannot tell you guys how freaking bad my back hurt after that 6 weeks. It was for like a week and a half straight. That, like Steve-O was saying, I wasn't getting sleep. I was in pain from waking up to going to bed. It was bad, and it was all from just being in a sitting position nonstop, you know, and not being in any other position but the sitting position.
Rocco, you work out, Alan. I know you work out. Something that I've noticed that's actually helped me when standing for a long time is just like doing planks and sit-ups, and like just working on that core and just keeping that strength up.
It will help, honestly. I mean, it'll make it sore for a little bit, but it will genuinely help.
Yeah.
But that's something. So like being proactive about that stuff today, right? Right now, while we're 30, turning 30, will make the difference. Then when we're, you know, the guy that's 65 who didn't take that time.
Well, no,
and now
and
can't
I think
walk.
it's staying consistent with it until
Right.
you're 65. Like you
Right.
can work out really and get like really fit all the way till you're 35, and then if you stop, your body's still gonna like atrophy by the time you're 65 if you don't keep doing it.
Right.
So I think that's where people like a lot of people kind of fall off the wagon, is that you have, once you commit to it, you pretty much have to do it for the rest of your life if you want to stay in that condition.
So do you guys feel like our generation's kind of like more health conscious than generations before us? Like the organic movement going on right now, the yoga movement going on now.
I think the generation before us might be more. I think our generation is really the peak of like, we're obese guys. We need to quit it.
I absolutely think so because, I mean, Oprah's on board, so, everyone else is going to be on board.
This is the flawless logic.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Pretty good.
Well, Oprah likes it.
Now,
Right
Raptor, by that question, I think that we're more, I guess, advertised as, we have social media and we talk about it more, but there's a lot of people that talk about it that don't even, like, actually do it. Well, like, hey, I'm doing this Shakeology thing, and I did it for half a week, and then I'm fucking done,
Yeah.
So...
Because the cost on it.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, there's so many people that sit there and say they do things, and then they actually don't do it. So, and it goes back to our one previous topic that Allan talked about, is just like your New Year's resolution, where if you don't tell people about it, you do it more often,
Right.
So, I think that we're more health conscious. I mean, I think we're probably still, if you really go down to brass numbers, I think it's probably even. I have done jujitsu for years, and there's a guy who is 65 years old there, okay? Yeah. The guy will beat any of us at anything. Like, and it's crazy. I'm like, you are older than my dad, and you can beat me up, Yeah. So it's really cool, and he's just like, yeah, I've just been doing it for 30-something years.
And you beat up your dad?
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but it's just very interesting because the guy sits there and says, I've just been doing it for so long, and he's very, flexible.
Does he look younger than 65?
Yes, I would say he looks like in his early 50s.
He's lying to you.
Well, maybe. But it's just very interesting. And then you sit there and you turn, like, in the gym, and there's a 35-year-old guy who's 250 pounds and obese. And, I mean, granted, they're there trying to, do the same thing, but I'm just like, okay, well, you look way in worse shape than the 65-year-old guy right there,
Yeah.
A lot of it's got to do with mentality, too, man. When I see these older people and I ask them, okay, what are you doing, like, they're mentally sharp, they're happy, they're go-getting, Like, what are you doing different than the other people that I see? And they say it's just really it's about keeping a positive perspective and not making excuses like we were saying. We go and tell people, oh, I'm going to go do this, go do that, go that. And then you end up just making excuse after excuse after excuse about how you're not going to go do it. And it's
got to be hard once you get to that age, too.
Yeah.
I
would think so. Really hard.
Like loved ones might have passed away, like friends might have passed away, like
it's sad, man. Yeah.
I mean, I hear like friends telling me about, they talk to like their grandmother or grandfather, and they're all just like, yeah, I just kind of like want to die now. Like I don't know anybody. Like I don't get to see like my family very often. They visit just a couple times, and it's just like, what is like at what age do you just feel like you're kind of just being kept alive rather than you want to stay alive,
I think it's also like it's that perspective. It's like you don't let the idea of the age keep you back from living life.
That would definitely help.
So I've got my grandfather's 85 years old, right? Damn. And he was I think it was in his 50s. He had a major stroke. He had a large tumor on his brain, and he had it was like a 2% chance of living. The guy was an experimental procedure that he was doing at the time. He lived. Now, he doesn't have control over the left side of his face. It just kind of it droops like this. It does absolutely no control over that. But this dude is 85 years old, and he's sharp with it still. He's fucking active. He's strong. He's got you can tell he's got a good base on him, but he's living life still. And he talked about he's the only one around. When I went up there and visited him recently in Boston, he's like, "Oh, my friends are dead. My family's dead. Everyone I know is dead." But he's still living life. He's not letting that get him back. He's like, I'm still alive. They're all dead. Yeah, but I'm alive, and I'm gonna fucking go. And I'm gonna go do something today. And I'm gonna go drive to this place and check it out. And I'm gonna go hang out with these guys and make new friends. And I'm like, see, that's if you hold on to the idea of death, like all the friends are gone and all that. Yeah, it will get morbid. And I've seen those people, and they just sit in that house and they wait for that day to come where they're like, oh, the chest thing's coming, and they're not going, oh my god, having a panic attack about it. They're like, I'm ready. Let it happen. And you're like, man, you're ready to get rid of the life.
It's certainly a mental and physical thing, right?
Yeah.
Just keeping the mind sharp, you can retire, but like keep doing things to keep your mind like
Well, I was thinking video games were a big thing in our generation, like probably one of the first generations that really played like lots of video games growing up.
Right.
So I wonder if that's kind of still going to be a thing that we will be able to do when we're older.
Hell, fuck
To
yeah.
kind of could still stimulate the brain like often, you know, because it is
Absolutely.
still a very stimulating activity for the brain, despite what critics say, like, oh, it's like the boob tube, you just turn on the games and you turn off your mind and stuff,
Yeah.
I think it actually makes people sharper when they play games because you have to sit there and focus and like use your coordination and everything.
It increases hand-eye coordination for sure.
Of course,
And
and I think it sharpens the mind.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And imagine if they do like you had said, Alan, and it creates it into virtual reality. You know what I mean? Like, and they're playing the video game systems through that. Like, I think that would be a helpful thing too as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
I think we
we'll
would
do
all
our
be
fives
experts.
team when we're all like 90 and see how good we are.
We're gonna still be doing this podcast.
I won't be playing Nidalee probably because it's probably a little too difficult for my arthritic hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think though if we just remember, if we always keep it in our minds about that idea, the future is still there. Like that idea of being older, and we start to do things that we make our decisions today about making choices so that we have that health, we have that mentality later on. I think that we'll probably be fine, even without the future of medicine having to get to a certain point to make it okay.
The two things that I think that the medicine industry needs to like look at really hard, which they're kind of already doing for the one, is the brain. And then that, like a big part of that, right, is all the mass shootings, all the killings going on. Like people are really starting to think like, okay, we need to evaluate the brain a little bit more and know how to diagnose this and treat this better. And then the second one really is the back. Like the back seems to be like one of the most scary. Like it's like, oh, you have a lower back problem. Well, sorry, there's nothing we can do because the surgery just is too dangerous. Like and it's like, man, I really wish we could figure out a way to like heal ourselves and just fix a back issue.
Well, like Allan was saying, though, doing the squatting position situation, it's just about changing societal norms. I would think, like instead of it just saying, why are we not questioning the seat that we sit on when we go to take a shit, and like saying, we all
got potty. I got a squatty potty.
There's squatty potties. There's answers to things like this right now.
How's it working?
We're not changing.
It's great.
Well,
man.
I mean, when you look at the
we have no lumbar support
and the science behind that, it's like it is the natural way to allow easy flow to happen when you're going to the bathroom, and the way that by sitting on the toilet the way we do it, it's almost like it.
So the legs up,
there's resistance.
A little bit higher, yeah. It's basically like a squat position when you're on the
past
toilet.
His head. Past his head, so he's like,
fucking
feet up here.
I'm basically in a U shape on the toilet.
Fire the cannon. Hold on to your ankles.
Yeah, no, I did for the first time. I farted when I was pooing the other day, and for the first time ever, it was like one of those where it's like, and it was like kind of everywhere in the toilet. I was like, whoa! I literally like exclaimed. I was like, whoa! Because that had never happened until I used this thing. So I was just like, oh my god! Because I always questioned that. Like that was so weird. Like sometimes I go into like the men's toilet and I'd see like shit like all over the toilet, like little specks and everything. I'm like, who the fuck does this? Like, how does it possibly get here? Like this is impossible.
It's on the up of the seat.
Yeah, it's like underneath the bowl. Like I'm just like, what the fuck?
I have seen that before, and I've thought the same thing, which is why.
So it finally clicked for me today. Maybe these people like literally have their feet up on the toilet or something, and
or
they're
they're
like, squatting on it, or
you're really.
I mean,
tall.
I don't know. Maybe they're really tall, yeah, and they're like naturally legs are like that, and they have to be freakishly tall to like for that to happen. Because I was like, it like freaked. I was like, whoa, like how? And I was like, okay, this must be why. Like, must be.
There's also backsplash. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
But that's not the.
You're talking about
that happens no matter what.
Like
Jackson Pollock
like
paintings
spray paint.
on these fucking
this is a
things.
nuclear bomb goes off
Yeah.
and it's everything. And you're like, how the fuck did that work?
Yeah.
You gotta think, what are they eating, and like, what's wrong with their anus if it's like,
The anus.
they're spitting.
I think it's definitely like fast food, to be honest, because I ate fast food and that's when it happened. So, and I notice like whenever I eat it now, like the poo the next day, man, it's not very good.
Processed
doesn't
meat
feel good.
scares me. Like I want to cut hot dogs when I can. You go to a ball game,
hot dogs are
man.
the worst.
I know, but you go to a ball game, you gotta
That
get
is like
yourself
mystery
Oh,
meat
hell yeah,
to the
you have
T.
to.
a bratwurst though, like a really good, like that's gotta be kind of
Mystery meat.
No,
mystery
okay.
meat. Any,
mystery.
it's like that's what sausage and like hot
Yeah.
dogs are. It's
I
like
know.
the fucking pieces that they don't they don't use on everything else.
And you
Toss some mustard and some sauerkraut, and you're good to go.
I know, but Alan's right. Like, you gotta cut that because that stuff is processed meat is really bad.
I've been doing turkey for everything. Like, you do turkey tacos, you do turkey chili. It's even better.
Ground beef. Yeah, I've been doing that for a while.
Not beef.
Or chicken.
Or ground
I
turkey,
did.
whatever.
So check this out. I did ground beef the other day. I hadn't done ground beef in forever. We did it for spaghetti. We usually do ground turkey.
Yeah.
We did ground beef, and the whole family's just ripping like ass all day long, dude. It was just because it was like it upset our stomachs in some weird way. It just caught his like issues, and we're all just like, this is weird. Like,
this is weird.
This is good. People don't think ground turkey would be good. But ground turkey's really good.
Well, when we're all old, we'll be able to like do this into our diapers and shit. So.
And it's terrible.
So you get blowouts. You're like, I gotta go to the shower.
You still have the potty thing.
Dude, you will not believe how many people wear adult diapers. You have no idea. Like, I ring up people constantly for adult diapers. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, does this happen to everybody?
Like, how old though?
Huh?
65
like
plus.
Yeah,
it's like
okay. I thought you meant like people like 25 or like just wearing.
Honestly, but 65 is really not that old. I mean, I see a lot of
like. I can't imagine my parents wearing that. There's my dad.
I mean, there's like people are living 80s easy, you know, and they're living like not many too much beyond that point. But there is a lot of people living the 80s. Like from 65, you still got another 15 years of life. Like, you're shitting your pants for the next 15 years. You're back in diapers by the end, you know.
I hope not.
Yeah,
a lot of people are doing it for whatever reason. It's
so trendy, man. It's so trendy.
Yeah.
It's mainly for bladder control, though.
All the hot girls are like going up to Steve and flirting with him. They're like, oh yeah, by the way,
they're getting like the Depends and shit, but then they're also getting like their Tamsulosin, which is like their bladder control medication.
Oh, that's kind of
so
sad.
it's like, so it's just like that. So it's mainly just peeing. So you're just walking, you're like,
And how many? And talking about getting older, like I don't know if this is like not normal for you guys, but I'll throw it out there. I go to the bathroom, like I'll go take a piss, shake my shit for a good second, put it back in my pants, and about a minute later, I've got like some piss just in my fucking underwear.
You're not
like,
shaking good enough, man.
It's like a bladder control kind of situation, you know what I mean? Like it's like somehow it's still kind of leaking. Like
you can work that muscle.
Three in the toilet, one in the pants, man.
I'm serious.
That's how it works.
What you do is you pee, and then try to stop peeing while peeing, and then do that a couple times.
I heard that. Yeah,
that will actually like. It
actually
that reminds
the control.
it improves control in other ways as well. So
that reminds me of the Zoolander thing, where that Maury guy's sitting there, and he's like,
give me
"Come on, just a couple drips." He's like, that's what I'm talking about.
I think about that all the time when I'm like having to pee and I like, can't pee or something. I'm just like, come on, just a couple drippy drips or whatever.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's hysterical.
Agent, man, I'll get Depends eventually.
It just becomes easier. I'm just like, I don't want to stop.
I don't really care. I'm just gonna keep doing what I've done. Just that felt so good. You're in the mall.
I think.
What are you doing?
Do you think we'll live longer too? Like I have to think that it's just been proven. That
I don't know. I feel like
do you think
maybe. I think the generation after us will live longer.
So you think we'll live as long as our grandfathers? Like 100? You'll think we'll live to like average like 90, 100 like they do?
Yeah, 80s, 90s. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think 80s, 90s.
I think so because I think we were kind of right around a peak of really like processed foods when we were developing.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
And I think it's just now kind of catching up where it's like more organic and like back to the roots of groceries and everything.
And processed foods were really not even in our parents' generations. It didn't come around till like in their later part of the years. You know what I mean?
And
they were still eating normal food, and then processed food started coming around when they're kind of getting out of the household already. So we were raised on that shit. I mean, I was raised on things like Cheez-Its and fucking Rice Krispie treats and like all these different processed food, like hamburger helpers.
Cheez-Its,
like,
Cheez-Its are processed food.
All that shit's processed, bro. All that food is processed food.
But what about chips?
That's processed food too.
Processed, dude.
What are you talking about?
Unless you cut the potato really thinly.
Well, come on, guys. We can't get rid of chips. Let's not get crazy. We still want chips.
French fries.
Our generation really was raised like.
I used to eat a bag of chips a day.
processed food, even McDonald's, dude. Like they didn't get McDonald's. It was like rare for them. They were like, we get to go to McDonald's once a freaking year. And they were awesome. And for us, it's like I go to McDonald's every day if I wanted to, or or other fast food joints.
Well, I was gonna say the best thing about, as far as it getting older, like I was asking all the people what like they were getting older, because we have a lot of people that are like 105, 98, 100, like all of them come to my work and everything. One lady, she goes to dancing classes. She's 98 years old.
Wow.
And she was always wearing these like old, I wouldn't say like, 60s dresses, like where they're doing swing dancing and stuff. And I was always wondering why she was wearing that. And she said she would go to dance classes next door all the time. And I was asking her, what her secret was. And she's like, just keep moving. She just keep
I've heard that.
staying active.
I've heard that.
And then I thought the saddest thing one day she came in and she's like, I was like, I haven't seen you in a long time. And she was like, yeah, I hurt my leg and I went to the doctor and the doctor says that I should never dance again. And she's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then like I'm slowly starting to see her a little bit every single time, and she's deteriorating.
Yeah,
she's really deteriorating fast. Like even her mind. Like I was just like, wow, this is so crazy.
It's what they
because
say
the
about
exercise. Yeah, the exercise. Other than just helping your mind, it's like releases a lot of chemicals in your brain that help you. Yeah.
It just keeps you to go on, like, because otherwise you're just gonna sit there and just gonna get depressed.
But it's the same thing as what they say about retirement, right? They say that whenever we get to retirement age, mentally, it's like we click this switch that says like we're no longer necessary for society, and that we can like start to and it allows that deterioration to start to kind of kick in.
Well, because you're not working either. It's not nothing.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Nothing stimulating.
You think that you're not. Yeah, you got nothing stimulating. You got nothing that you feel like is contributing back. And it was like her even dancing though. That was still contributing in some way, Yeah. And then that gets taken away from you, and it's like immediately you start to digress real fast.
That's why video games, man. When we're retired, we'll just fucking play games all day.
That's all I'm doing, man. Well, I'll obviously dance and run and walk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I will have to pee though.